If this is coming across your feed, let's trust it for just a minute and see if there might be some sort of useful message in here for you that you need to hear, or some information that you can glean from this. And let's just take a look at the situation, see what's going on. I don't know yet. We'll find out together. And what is the situation that the viewer that resonates the most with this may be experiencing or going through? This is for somebody who is starting out with a new beginning. Maybe you've had a choice that you've had to make, and you've drawn boundaries and you've held those boundaries, and you're feeling firm in the boundaries, feeling good about them, but you're starting out on a new adventure. You're embarking on a new adventure, a new opportunity, perhaps. Something new, fresh, exciting is entering your life. If that sounds like something that you may be going through, then this may be exactly what you need to hear. Let's take a look. Okay. What does this person need to know about this new adventure that they are starting out on? What does this person need to know? Okay, this is a new adventure that you're very excited about. You're very passionate about this project or this topic, and you are looking forward to it. You're excited about it, but it is very fresh. It's very new. It's very in the early stages of things. It could perhaps be an idea that you still have, that you're working on, that you're trying to materialize, but mostly you just have that passion, that drive for it. And it's going to require you to have boundaries, perhaps be more structured. You're going to need to be more structured in how you approach things. Boundaries. You don't need everybody's opinion about what you're doing with your life, right? It's your life. And opinions are great until they're not, until they're not helpful. And I'm not saying that you should never listen to anybody ever, but you do need to prioritize who you're listening to and what advice you're willing to take, and keep those boundaries up with people that are just trying to offer their opinion that you didn't ask for it. Like, if you did not ask for their opinion, you can shut them down. It is okay to shut them down. You do not have to listen to everybody about everything, because a lot of the time that advice is going to be them projecting their own thoughts, fears, and experiences onto you, and it may not be applicable. You're your own person. You have your own goals, your own dreams, things that you want to do for you in your life, and that does not mean that you need to listen to everybody's opinion about it. In fact, I would recommend trying to find people who have been successful in whatever your goals and your dreams are, and pay attention to what those people say and follow that, rather than just listening to anybody and everybody and asking for blanket opinions. Whatever this is that you are embarking on has the potential to change your life entirely. It has the potential to completely revolutionize things, put the dead, the past behind you, bury the dead, and move forward, move on, and have that new beginning. What I'm seeing really in this card, when I look at it, I'm seeing the sunrise. There we go. See the sunrise? Because the sun is dawning on a new day, on a new adventure, leaving behind those old things that no longer serve you, that are no longer for your highest good, and are no longer beneficial. As you're going into this, you have a sense that you're doing what's fair, what's right, what's good. You want to continue to do what's fair and right. And you've got that as one of your underlying motivations to do that. And you know that you're going to have to work with people, but that's okay, right? It's not all bad. You can find some good people that are fun to work with, that are really useful. Networking might be great for you. So don't be afraid to talk to people. But again, do keep your boundaries up, just in the way that you want to make sure that you're being respected and you have self-respect as well. So you don't need everybody's opinion, but networking, working with people, communicating, again, especially if you can find somebody who is doing something similar to what you want to do, what your end goal is, somebody that has more information about your passion project. Because again, I get the feeling that this is all very new for you. This is something, it's an idea that's budding. It's still in your head. You're still working it over. And so you haven't yet found a way to bring that into tangible reality and bring it into fruition. So you want to look for people who have done that? Who are some examples that you can think of right now that have been successful in what you're hoping for? Go find those people, follow them on social media. If you're able to, reach out to them. If maybe look for emails. Sometimes people are very open to having communication. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Try new ways to interact with these people, because again, this has the potential to change everything. But do keep in mind that this will be a massive change. Once you do this, there's no going back from it, right? You will be a new person in a new situation, which is what you want. But it does require you to be okay with leaving the other things behind you and stepping forward into that. All right. What is the next step? Let's take a look at that. What is the next step, or what will help you get to the next step that you can focus on? Let's just pull on some cards, see if there's any practical or useful advice that will come out for that. Oops. What is the first step or the next step? What is the next step for this person on this journey? Interesting. Lots of wands. Lots of passion. Lots of fiery action. We do have some pentacles in the background, right? In your subconscious, you do still have those pentacles. You're thinking that this may lay the groundwork for something fantastic for you, something great for you, that legacy that you're trying to build. It's in the underlying subconscious. And I think you're still in such a planning phase that it still looks like the next step for you is still planning, which is not bad, right? It's good to plan so that you're not just going into things blindly, but you do still have some planning to do. So I think you should focus on ironing that out. Whether you need to make a list of things, but really sort it out in your head where you see this going, what you think it's going to become, what you think it could be, and then I'm seeing here clashes of the egos. This card jumped out after I'd already pulled the first card. We had the Five of Wands jump out, and I find that interesting. It definitely wanted to be heard. So I think the next step may be standing up for yourself. I'm getting that again. It's kind of goes along with that Queen of Swords energy that we got earlier. But it's standing up for yourself. And I'm not saying pick fights, right? I'm not saying that you need to go out and pick fights. But there may be something about the situation that is causing disagreements. There are multiple different people wanting to do things their way, and they're fighting about it. No, my way, no, mine. It's my way is best. But they're all looking at each other and they're focused on each other. Except for you, over here. You're focused on your goals, your endeavors. You're looking out at the horizon. You're imagining what could be. These people, they're all arguing and bickering with each other. They're focused on each other. And if that's you, if you find yourself arguing and bickering with other people, I think it would be wise for you to lay down your staff, or redirect your staff rather, to focusing your attention on what you actually want. Looking forward, planning. You don't need to prove who's right. You don't need to prove that you're right. And honestly, it doesn't matter who's right. Like, that's all subjective. Everybody thinks that they're right. Otherwise, they wouldn't be arguing. No, some people just like to argue, but for the most part, people argue because they think they're right. But being right 99% of the time is a subjective viewpoint, and it's not objective. So if you find yourself in that, put down your staff or walk away with your staff and put that passion that you have, rather than arguing, put it towards what you actually want to accomplish. Because that's just a waste of time. You're just wasting time over here arguing with people, clashing your sticks together, making noises. Just a waste of time. You got a legacy to build. Bruh, you got time to mess with this. You got a legacy to build. You got passion that you gotta kindle. You got a fire that you gotta light. Right? You don't need to argue with those people. Leave them behind. Let them continue their argument without you. You've got bigger things to handle. All right. Is there any final messages that would be useful to hear right now? Any final messages that would be useful for the viewer to hear right now? Any final messages that would be useful for the viewer to hear right now? So this is the card that came up, and I find this interesting because there are two specific cups that stand out to me here. We have this one with the face, and this one down here with the dragon. It's possible that you might be idealizing somebody that is not really who they appear to be, and they may not really be that great of a person. Because this card has been showing up lately in these kinds of pulls as well, which can be strategy, which can be someone being manipulative, sneaky, self-serving, not having the best intentions. So I know that you're looking for a mentor or that guide, somebody that you can look up to in order to help guide you and get started on your goals, right? I would let you know that there are a lot of options that you can look for, but that not all of them are necessarily who they are pretending to be. They may not be who you perceive them to be, especially if they're presenting themselves as having it all together. Like if they're presenting themselves as being on top of everything all the time in every way, they have rigid structures, they keep things organized and just are very by the book, very authoritarian seeming or extremely masculine. That may be how they present, but I don't think that's really how they are. I think they're presenting very put together, but underneath it all, they may not be the best, most honest, forthright person. So when you're looking at those options and trying to decide who you want to work with, or who you want to work for, or however this may apply in your situation, you've got a lot of options. Be mindful of who you choose and use your intuition and just really observe to ensure that the person that you're working with is someone that is deserving of your admiration. Because I can't remember if I mentioned it, but when I see here, when I see this, it's almost like they're being put up on a pedestal. They're being idealized as, this fantastic person who's got it all together. But in reality, they're kind of sneaky. They're kind of low down. So, yeah, be mindful of that. Be watchful. Guard your new idea, your little budding idea. Make sure that you don't plant your seed in spoiled soil. If you found that useful, please subscribe. I always forget. to add that part in. But yes.